Good morning, Megapodlings, or good afternoon as the case may be. It is Crazy Joe on a Wednesday afternoon. You'll have to forgive me. I'm about to be driving and I won't be able to read the live chat. And I'm not going to try to read the live chat unless I'm at a red light. If I'm at a red light, I'll glance over. But otherwise, I will be ignoring the chat for a little bit because I'm driving. That will change when I stop driving. When I stop driving, I will take a look at the chat. But safety first and accidents a close second. That's what they say. But in this case, let's not have accidents a close second. Let's have accidents a distant nowhere. Let's have no accidents. So I'm going to watch the road and not the chat. But I'll get back to you when I'm at a red light. So what am I doing? Well, here's the thing. I didn't have a Crazy After Dark last week. There was no Crazy After Dark last week. And odds are there might not be one tonight. I'm sorry. I know. It's just the way it goes with the dog days of podcasting. I get I have a hard time multitasking and doing many things. And it seems like when I focus on the podcast, the YouTube suffers. When I focus on the YouTube, the podcast suffers. And I wish I was better at juggling. And maybe someday I will be. If doing Mega Podtastic full time was my gig and I didn't have a job, then I'm sure I'd be quite adept at doing both. But unfortunately, I'm dealing with like the time I have available between going to work and parenting and stuff like that. So that's not the case. But we're coming to the end of the dog days of Advent. It ends on Christmas Day. So we'll be getting better. We'll be getting better with the live streams and the whatnot. So the reason I'm doing this is, number one, I feel like I owe you guys a live stream because I didn't go live last week. I'm on my lunch break at work. So this is my lunch break, and I figure, let's go live on my lunch break. We're going somewhere. We're going to get out of the car, and then I'll be able to see what you guys are saying. I'm thinking maybe we'll go to Target because, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of, I always end up at my local Walmart. There's a Walmart right over here. I always end up there. I'm trying to think, well, what's there? Let's go over to Target. So I think we're going to head over to Target. And unless something catches my eye on the way, and then maybe we'll stop somewhere else. In any event, down to movie, Rick is just a hair away from 2,000 subs. I mean, he's close, man. He's really close. So if you are not subbed to Rick at Down to Movie, could you go over to Down to Movie, give him a sub? Let's help him reach his goals. Now, my goal for 2019 was to hit 1,800. I am currently at like 1,022. Like 1,000, like 200, well, 1,220, something like that. That's where I am, roughly. And I still would like to hit my goal of 1,800, but with so little time left in the year, it seems unlikely. Now, I don't know that if I would have hit the goal, but I did notice several months ago, a lot of my subs disappeared, at least 70, which isn't, a huge amount. 70 is not a huge amount, but about 70 subs just disappeared. I guess it was YouTube cleaning up old accounts. So suddenly my number dropped, and it's picked up again. But I'd love to hit 1,800. I just don't. I guess you should have faith and say, anything's possible. Anything's possible. But it does seem like a daunting number to pick up about 500 people in just a couple short weeks. But I'd like to do it. And I said, what the heck? If we're shooting for 1,800, which to me seems unlikely, why not just shoot for 2,000? Because that's only 200 more. And if 1,800 is unlikely, 2,000 is probably unlikely too. So we're substituting one unlikely number for another. So let's shoot for 2,000. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's worth shooting for, right? I mean, it's a worthy goal, I think. I don't know. But I guess what I'm saying is, if you enjoy what you see on this channel, if you're a fan of this channel, if you like the community we have here, maybe you want to share some of my videos on social media. If you share it with some of your friends who haven't seen it, maybe they would like it too. But yeah, I'd like to bring some new people in and get those subs up a little bit. I think I work very, very hard on the videos I do. Like I might overthink them, actually. I may actually overthink them, because sometimes, like, I'm doing stuff and I start thinking, like, well, is this shot too static? Do I need to, like, change up my shot a little? Do I need to put in close-ups? And I'm always trying to make them videos look better, make them flow better, and I feel like I'm putting work in. And I don't know. I'd like to grow the channel. I think that would be a nice thing to do, is to grow the channel, especially considering my day job. I like my day job. I enjoy my day job. It's a good job. I have no complaints about my job, but it's the job I do because I have to. It's the job I do because I need to raise money for my family. But I would love to. This is the job I enjoy doing. So I don't know that I'm the guy. Who does the day job. I do the day job, but like that doesn't really define me as much as this. This defines me a little more, because we're talking movies, we're talking pop culture, all the things that I think kind of more make me who I am. Like, I feel like, this is more. I don't know. I'm probably rambling now, but in any event, if you could share the videos, let's tell a friend, maybe bring some new people in. It would mean a lot to me. But and we're almost there, so I'll be looking at the chat pretty soon. We don't have too much farther to drive. So it's Wednesday. Rise of Skywalker opens Friday, and I can't wait. It actually opens tomorrow night, but I'm not going to get to it tomorrow night. But I got tickets for Friday, and I simply can't wait. The reviews have been decidedly mixed. Some people are saying, "Oh, it's great. You're gonna love it. It's terrific." You look at some of the reviews; they're overwhelmingly positive, and others have been kind of mediocre. To be fair, I haven't seen any bad reviews. I haven't seen any reviews that are like, "This is a bad movie." The worst reviews seem to be, "This is a letdown. This is an unfortunate way to end the series." But I haven't heard anyone say, "Well, this is garbage." So that's a good sign. If it's a mediocre Star Wars movie, that's, we've had mediocre Star Wars movies before. We've had the prequels. So, the bar has been set low by Mr. George Lucas. Starting in 1999, he had a very high bar in 1983, and then in 1989, he lowered that bar very, very, very low. So if anyone just kind of steps over the bar, they've already exceeded what George Lucas did in 1999, if you ask me. So I'm not too worried. I don't think I'm going to hate that movie. I might. Who knows? I might hate the movie. But I'm optimistic. So we'll see. We'll find out on Friday, and I look forward to finding out. In the meantime, there's a brand new episode of The Mandalorian on today. So we're going to get a new episode of The Mandalorian today. So we're good on Star Wars, man. Which is great, because I am in a Star Wars state of mind, because I'm so hyped up for Rise of Skywalker. Like, I'm so excited for Rise of Skywalker that pretty much all I'm thinking about is Star Wars. It's just the way it is. I'm super jealous of CS being down in Florida right now and getting to see Rise of the Resistance. I hear Rise of the Resistance is phenomenal. I would love to be there, but it is not in the cards. I am turning in to the Target parking lot right now, and incidentally, I'm very close, extremely close to the convention center. where they hold RetroCon every year. It's right on the other side of this shopping center. So what are we doing at Target? I don't know. Just wandering around, I guess. You know, I don't usually film in stores like CS does. I mean, you know, I'll be with him when he's doing it, but I don't usually take a camera in a store. So that's a little out of my element. So this is going to be interesting because I'm going to take you guys in with me. And that's not something I usually do. I wouldn't say I'm a shy or self-conscious person, but wandering around a store talking into my phone is not exactly in my wheelhouse. All right, let me pull in here, and then I'm going to look at the chat and see what you guys are saying. All right, let's see. I said there's 19 of you. All right, let's see. What do we have here? Come on, where's the live chat? Of course, now I can't access the live chat. See, look, I'm putting my finger right on top of the camera. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I can't see the chat. Here we go. Hey, Sav's here. Lewis Switcher's here. Hello, Lewis. Good to see you. Conor McGregor. What do I think about the Rotten Tomato score for Star Wars? Could be the lowest in the franchise. It's actually not the lowest in the franchise. As of this morning, it was still fresh. It was 60%, which is a low fresh, but it was fresh. I think the lowest score in the franchise is The Phantom Menace. Marie is here. Hello, Marie. Tuffy Perkins. Hello. Lewis says I look great. Thank you, Lewis. I can't see you right now, but I'm sure you look great too. Bohemian says, starting in 2020, I'm going to try to watch Star Wars for the first time. Oh, you are in for a treat. Start with the original trilogy. Don't start with the prequels. Because if you start with the prequels, you're probably not going to want to move on to the original trilogy. Martinez Joe says, my content is great. Thank you. Yours is too, my good man. Bohemian is here. Let's see. Joey says, of course I'm subbed to Big Sexy. Thank you, Joey. Joe says, Rick needs 2K now. He's very close. I think he's going to do it. Joey Baseball says, how about a Crazy After Dark New Year's Eve live stream? It's not a bad idea, but I am going to be spending New Year's Eve with my family, and I don't know how they will feel about that. But it's not a bad idea. Lisa is here. Live while I'm at work. No Crazy After Dark today. I didn't say there's no Crazy After Dark today. I just said it's not looking that way. I mean, maybe we will. Joe says he likes the sweater. Thank you, Joe. Utah Vlog Squad says he likes the sweater. Thank you. Happy Christmas from Sav. Happy Christmas to you, my good man. Merry Christmas to Brent. All right, I think I'm caught up. Mad Apple is now in the house. All right. Or did I read those in reverse order? I may have read those in reverse order. I don't know. All right. All right, let's go inside. This is not my wheelhouse. I'm not usually carrying a phone into a store, so we'll see how this goes. Hang on. Ooh, hear that wind? It's a windy day. Sav says it's 2:15 p.m. This is his wish I could run out of the office now. Louis says interview shoppers. I don't know. The store may throw me out for that. They might be like, hey, no bothering the patrons. Okay, let's see. There's the store. Surprise, it's a Target. Well, I told you, said we were going to a Target. So there is a Target. Connor says, have you bought Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yet? I did. I did buy it. I love that movie. It's one of the best of the year. I don't like the fact that I have a collar sticking out of my sweater. I'm not crazy about that, but my job, dress code requires a collar. Oh, my wife is in there. What am I shopping for? Clearly not for you because you're watching. That wouldn't make sense to buy something for my wife while she's watching. So, not for you. Hey, look at this. This seems to be a new thing this year. Socks. Look at this. Justice League socks. Harry Potter, Disney princesses, Star Wars. It's amazing. I never saw this before this year, but this is like the thing now. And I asked someone at work who this is, and they said a YouTuber. So apparently there's a YouTuber who has her own socks. So I guess that means I could have my own line of socks someday if I play my cards right. I don't know. Do I want my own brand of socks? Lisa says needs some socks for presents. Let's look at the sweaters. I've seen better. Lewis says it's 2019. Everyone talks to their phone. Christine, you still there? What are you doing? Did you go back to Comcast today? Let us know. Inquiring minds want to know. I want to know. Joe says, you need a line of Christmas sweaters. Oh my God, that would be like a dream come true if I had my own line of Christmas sweaters. I'd be all over that. Oh man, if I could get a Christmas sweater on the Megapodtastic online store, that would be phenomenal. I'll have to ask Matt Apple. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thinking Art Entertainment in the house, Mr. Wes. I am working. I'm on my lunch break. Let's look at the t-shirts. I like that one. Target shirts never fit me. They don't accommodate for tall people. I end up looking like Britney Spears with my midriff exposed, which, don't get me wrong, it's a real sexy look. But I prefer a little bit longer. But thank you, Matt Apple. I do appreciate that. Bohemian says, when you have super chat and there's no super chat hippo. Hang on. Where is pet supplies? We'll find a super chat hippo. When am I seeing Star Wars? Friday at 7. Friday at 7. And I can't wait. The reviews aren't worrying me too much. Am I seeing Star Wars in 4DX? Not right away, but I would like to take my daughter to see it in 4DX. I think she'd enjoy that. Looking at the pops, see if they have anything good. Not that I'm in the market for any right now, but I like to look. Super Chat Hippo was purchased at Target. I don't know where Super Chat Hippo is. Here we go. Super Chat Gingerbread Man. There you go, the Super Chat Gingerbread. Well, Gingerbread Woman, it said. We got that. Let's look at the action figures. So Benicio del Toro, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Rose Tico. Nothing overly exciting. Joey says, do I have Shazam with the lenticular slipcover? No, I got the steelbook for Shazam. don't know. A lot of the toys don't excite me anymore. They used to, but there's just nothing terribly exciting. Connor says, do I know where the Kenner-like figures are? Oh yeah. You mean like the retro figures? There they are. The ones that are made to look like the old Kenner figures. Lisa says, turn all the talking to it on. There's Snoke. Looks like all they have is Snoke and one Jyn Erso. I like these Galaxy of Adventure figures. They're really cool looking. Sav says, may the force be with you. May the force be with you, Sav. Yeah, I do like these. I mean, they're just the smaller action figures made to look in that animated style. Joey says, who's my favorite Star Wars character that hasn't been killed off? Well, I haven't seen Rise of Skywalker yet, so if you know anything, no spoilers, but I'd have to say Lando Calrissian. My all-time favorite Star Wars character has to be Han Solo, but Lando's a close second. Lisa says, I set off a wall of Tickle Me Elmos before and ran. All right, let's look for the Tickle Me Elmos. Did I watch the Mandalorian episode that was released today? Not yet. Tonight. Tonight I will be watching that. All right, let's see. Where are the Tickle Me Elmos? This is for you, Lisa. Well, I found Feed Me Cookie Monster. Press his tummy. Hi, Aubrey. And here's Let's Dance, Elmo.
La 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 la, la 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 la, Elmo's drowned.
Christine asks if I'm making popcorn tonight for The Mandalorian. Yes, I am. I will make popcorn for The Mandalorian, no question. All right, let's look at the Blu-rays. Rambo 5 came out last week. I'm supposed to be getting a free code for that from Regal Cinemas, but they haven't sent it yet. We got It Chapter 2. Joey asks, is this video made for kids? I see you playing with toys. No, it is not. Make no mistake. Do you hear that, YouTube? This is not a kid's video. I mean, it's Wednesday. All the new stuff came. Oh, look at this. Mr. Rogers Making Mistakes. How many episodes are on this? I'll be honest with you. I'm only interested in Mr. Rogers episodes that are pre-1979. Because for some reason, the Fred Rogers Company never makes those episodes available, and they're the ones I'm most nostalgic for as a child. Lisa says, how much? How much for Mr. Rogers? He was only $6.99. Sav says, am I 43? I am 43. And look, I got a pimple on my nose today. I got a pimple on my nose, and you know what? That's very festive, because it's Christmas, and I look like Rudolph. Some people might be like, oh no, I got a pimple on my nose. I'm just going to celebrate it, because anything that makes me look like Rudolph just makes me look a little more festive this holiday season. Sav says, I'm the same age as him. Lisa says, the old episodes are better. Yes, I like it better when the walls were yellow, before they turned blue. I like the color blue better. It's just, the walls looked better blue, make no mistake. They looked better blue. But I prefer the episodes in the yellow ones. Lisa says, pimples keep you young. Well, a 4-year-old running amok makes you very old before your time. So I do not feel young. Oh, there they are. There's the Star Wars movies. Pup Petta says, got to see an advanced screening of Star Wars. Rey is Palpatine and has a yellow lightsaber. Oh, you. I don't believe you. Spiky says, dab some peroxide on the pimple. It will lighten it up. But I want to look like Rudolph, man. I want to guide Santa's sleigh. Joey says, where was I when I heard Carol Spinney died? Oh, my Lord. You know where I was when I heard Carol Spinney died? On the couch, getting ready to go to Sesame Place. And I had just finished watching Christmas Eve on Sesame Street. I discussed it on the last podcast, actually. The last full-length podcast, not the last Dog Days episode, with Joe Hennis from toughpigs.com. And I said, while you never want to hear that one of your heroes died, you never want to hear that, it was probably the best way to hear something like that, because I had literally just finished appreciating his work. Like, I had watched him in one of the greatest Sesame Street productions ever, if you ask me, Christmas Eve on Sesame Street. And I watched him and appreciated his performance without the sadness of knowing that he was dead, because I didn't know yet. And then I got the word afterwards. So it's like I got to enjoy the show without that sadness. And then I found out. So it's like, yeah, it's not good to find out a hero of yours has died. It's a very sad thing. But I think if you're going to find out, you couldn't have found out in a way better than I found out, because I was fresh from watching him, and I was fresh from watching him without the sadness of knowing he had passed. So Joey says same thing happened with him with Willy Wonka. He watched Willy Wonka right before Gene Wilder died. Well, I am heading out now. What time is it? What is the time? Because I do have to get back to work. 2:30. Well, I think it's time for me to drive back. So let's head over to the old car. You guys are giving me the time. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. This probably wasn't the most exciting live stream of all time. I apologize. But, I wanted to do something. It's 7:30 in the UK. Didn't you just say it was 2:15 in the UK like 20 minutes ago, Sev? How does time work in the UK, man? Thinking Art says, which Target is that? I am at the Oaks Target, Wes. I'm not far from you. So if you want, I could drive over and stop by. I'm sure that would go over well with all parties. That's an inside joke for those of you who are wondering, what does that mean? Eternal Harmony says, hey, Joe. Hate that I missed the live stream. Hope your family is having a great holiday season. Thank you. Thank you, Eternal Harmony. The live stream's not over. I still have to drive back, but I'm sorry. I got to ignore you guys because I got to watch the road. So I'll put the phone right over here. Boom. There we go. And I'm afraid you guys are about to get ignored because safety first, I have to watch the road. Don't take it personally. Aubrey says drive safe. Yes, yes. I intend to, which is why I am now going to ignore all of you guys because I have to watch the road. That is what's most important. And I'll catch up with you guys once I park the car back at my office. Ugh. Here we go, off on our adventure. So I haven't heard anything. That's the funny thing. Everyone is talking about Rise of Skywalker right now. If you go online, every website is printing their reviews of the Rise of Skywalker. It's all they're talking about. And this is the first week where a new episode of The Mandalorian has dropped, and I haven't heard anyone talking about it. So I don't know if the new episode of The Mandalorian is being well received or not, because I haven't heard anyone discussing it. They're all too busy posting reviews of Rise of Skywalker. So that's kind of funny, because most days when we get a new Mandalorian, I avoid spoilers, but usually we watch it at night and during the day, because it drops, I guess, at midnight or in the morning. I don't know. I'll hear people say, "Oh, today's Mandalorian was a disappointment." And then I'll watch it and be like, "Oh, I thought it was pretty good." And I was, today's Mandalorian, this happened. It was all fan service. That's what I heard for the last episode. People were like, or not the last episode, the one with Amy Sedaris. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's all fan service." They go back to Tatooine and it's all nothing but fan service. So then, I watch it at night and I'm like, I don't think it's bad. I don't know. I didn't think it was a terrible episode. So, but today's the first time I've heard nothing at all. So I'm going in fresh tonight, fresh with popcorn, and that's another part of the reason why there probably won't be a Crazy After Dark tonight, is because Christine and I have a appointment with The Mandalorian. And you might say, "Hey, but The Mandalorian's usually only like 40 minutes long. You can't do one after." Well, you got to remember, I'm not going to start that 40 minutes until we get Kira to bed. So, it could take a while. So that's why I tell you there probably won't be a Crazy After Dark tonight. There might be. Who knows? But it's unlikely. What else is going on in the geek world that has me excited? Hey, did any of you guys catch my guest appearance on Serial at Midnight? I was on Serial at Midnight earlier this week, and I'll tell you, I know Heath from Serial at Midnight. I have known Heath through social media interactions. I knew who he was, then he knew who I was, and then we would, I'd comment on his videos, and he would tweet back and forth. But, I never held a conversation with him, other than social media interaction. I never actually held a conversation with him until that night when we went and recorded that. And what a great guy. Just a great guy. I'll tell you, he's the kind of guy, I think he and I are cut from the same cloth in that we both have a great love of movies and pop culture, and we both try to really look for the positive and don't like to be bogged down in all the negativity that a lot of what you see online. And so I think he and I really come at things from a very similar perspective. And I'll tell you, man, if we lived closer, he's in Alabama, but if we lived closer, I think, he'd be one of my good friends. We'd be hanging out all the time, I think. I really like the guy. So that was fun to do. And I'd love to collaborate with him again someday. Maybe someday we can even collaborate and do something together in person. That's a tall order, because I don't know when I'm going to be in Alabama, and I don't know when he's going to be in Philadelphia. But if we could pull it off, I would enjoy that. That's the nice thing about Dragon Con, is like Adam the Woo, Splorer and Ryan, Tampa J, Greg's Game Room. These guys, I don't see them because they're in Florida. I don't get to Florida that often. They don't really get to Philadelphia that often. But we're at Dragon Con together, and it's like for that span of days, we're in the same place at the same time. It's like we meet at a common ground, and that common ground is Dragon Con. So that's a handy thing. So you never know. And those guys, man, I'll tell you, I'm watching their videos at Epcot right now. They're all the Florida crew. I love those guys, and I am so jealous of them because they're in Florida and I'm in cold Pennsylvania, which I'll tell you, I live in Pennsylvania, but Pennsylvania does not live in me. And this is not where I want to be. This is where I got stuck. but things have worked out, you know. It's like I mean, if I weren't in Pennsylvania, would I have met my wife? I mean, maybe not. There's a part of me that likes to think that we were so destined to meet that we would have met no matter where I lived. Like if I lived in Florida, we would have met when she was on vacation there or something. Like I don't know. Like there's part of me that just thinks like, no, we were destined to meet. So, but yeah, if we're speaking realistically here, no, I probably wouldn't have met her if I wasn't in Pennsylvania. So I guess being in Pennsylvania has been good to me, despite the fact that I don't want to be in Pennsylvania. If that makes any sense. So I am rambling on now. I apologize because I can't interact with you guys, and that's what happens. That's what happens when I can't interact with you guys. I just start spouting things. I got 2 movie reviews that you're going to be seeing very soon. I just missed my turn. That's where I was supposed to turn. That's okay. I can turn elsewhere. Now, you know what? I really want to turn there, so I'm just going to... Nah, you know, we're good. We're good. I know some shortcuts. I know a shortcut or two. All right. Yeah, I got 2 movie reviews that I have to drop. And I'll tell you, I really wanted to drop more Star Wars content because I'm in a Star Wars state of mind. But the funny thing about Star Wars content is these days it tends to bring out the worst in people, if we're being honest, because I always say, you've heard me say this, I've said it many times, I always say that film is subjective. It's okay to like what you like. It's okay to dislike what you dislike. That's all well and good. So it's not everybody. It's not everybody. But a lot of the people who like really hate The Last Jedi, they get angry if you dare to say you like it. Like saying I like The Last Jedi, that just infuriates them. Like, how could you say this? You know, and it's like, all right, look, you don't have to like it. I'm not saying you have to like it, but why are you getting mad at me because I do? Like, I don't understand that. Like, that doesn't... and it's not like I'm in a vacuum. The movie was extremely well received. If you look at Rotten Tomatoes score, it's like at 91%, 92%, something like that. So it's like, it's not like it was this dumpster fire of a movie that people just, you know, it was garbage. But I don't know, the people who don't like it, not everybody. There's some people who are, you know, quite reasonable and say, oh, I don't like it, but if you like it, that's great. But there's other people who are just like, how dare you? How dare you, sir, like that film? And I don't know, it makes it a little less fun talking about Star Wars. Part of why it was so refreshing talking to Heath, because he's such an upbeat, positive guy. All right, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? There's a guy parking all weird. I'm checking areas for parking that are almost guaranteed to be filled, but hope springs eternal, and I check anyway. And I'm going to drive around and find that all these spots are taken, as I suspected they would be. And then I'm going to have to look for parking elsewhere. But you can't say I didn't try. Going in circles, going in circles. And I have found parking. But now I need to parallel park. So we will parallel park. Anyone behind me? No, there is not. This is riveting viewing, isn't it, people? Aren't you glad you dropped what you were doing for this feed? Let's see. There we go. I am parked, and I have about 5 more minutes before I have to get back on the clock. So, let's see. What did I miss here? Christine says, nobody has dibs on me. I don't know what that means. What did I miss? Christine says, I am your density. Oh, you are my density. This is true. Let's see. Christine says if she goes to bed early, then he could probably do his live stream, but there's no guarantees. And Puppetta says cereal at midnight is my favorite meal of the day. Probably why I can't lose to way too much. Checked out your guest appearance as soon as I saw your Instagram post. Let's see. Joey says, I will always think of The Mandalorian as the crazy After Dark killer. Well, not usually, because it's usually on Fridays. Let's see. Driving with one hand is unsafe. I always drive with one hand. I'm a one-hand driver. Lisa says, tried Rhode Island. I think it's going to be like 4 degrees at the end of the week. Oh, boy. No, I'm definitely one for a southern climate. Of course, I don't live in a southern climate, but I want to. But Petta says driving in YouTube is dangerous. Well, it's only dangerous. It's only dangerous if I don't watch the road, which is why I ignore the chat. And I don't do it that often anyway, but as long as you just don't look at the chat and watch the road, it's no different than to talking to the person in the seat next to you if someone's in the car with you. IMAX says, I just walked into Target when we saw your stream come up. Could care less about Rotten Tomatoes. Critics don't usually like what I like anyway. Can't wait for Rise. Parallel parking lesson first shot. Thank you, Lisa. Joey says, I didn't drop much to watch this. I've been in a waiting room waiting for my appointment. Oh, I hope all goes well. Let's see. All right, Pup Pettis, that's enough. Stop being creepy. Stop being creepy. Connor says it's 77 in Texas. Sav says Star Trek Discovery is being shown on channel E4 in the UK. Sav, if you haven't seen Star Trek Discovery, you are in for a treat. The most recent 2 short treks that they released were animated, and they were really good. Really good. Ooh, there's someone else backing out, and they're getting dangerously close to my car. It's a small parking lot. What can I say? It's not the guy. It's not his fault. It's a small parking lot. So you got to maneuver around this parking lot. All right, guys, I am going to end this live stream, and I am going to go inside and get back on the clock because my work day still has a couple hours left. Yeah, let's see. Lisa says, what's your job? Lisa, no offense. I know you, Lisa. I know you. You're a good egg. And if we weren't on a live stream, I would tell you.